Thank you.
You go with your heart.
Yeah.
And you do not let, and we talk about perseverance, being persistent, confident in yourself, but you use your heart to connect with others and to help others feel a sense of belonging. I don't think there's a greater gift you can give someone.
Yeah, I think the heart brings love brings endless possibilities in my mind. I think TMF is most known for right now is our weekly dinner on Wednesday nights. I think that took a big eye-opener throughout the state of Massachusetts, and even the country when the NCAA magazine wrote a story on TMF that went to every single college in the United States. So I think within time, the consistency of the journey has paid off.
So tell us a little bit about, those Wednesday night dinners.
Yeah, so
right?
my
This
favorite of the week.
It's kind of like this culmination of this is what it's kind of.
It was either, walk away from something that was so great that I'll miss forever, or you fight for what you believe in. And sometimes the power of people wins. So,
You just said it. You said as a leader. And from the first few moments of this recording of this podcast, I was struck by the fact that you have determined eyes and you are by far absolutely a leader.
And so, I think I had this mentality, even I give the example of when I first met you, coming over with your food, asking how my day's going. I remember at lunch in high school, individuals sitting by themselves, no friends, hurt me. I didn't like to see that. I didn't even like to see someone pick last for a sports team. Well, pick and pick up. I got you, and you got the kid looking back. It's damn, nobody wants me. I saw all these different examples, and I just wanted to make somebody feel comfortable, make someone feel loved, make someone feel hey, I want you around. I saw all these different examples, and I just wanted to make somebody feel comfortable, make someone feel loved, make someone feel hey, I want you around. And I think everyone just wants to feel accepted in life, I belong. And I think that's why people join TMF.
And welcome to the Apex Lifestyles Podcast. I'm your host, Bob G. DMD, and I'm here as always with my co-host,
Dennis V. How you doing today, Bob?
I'm doing great. It's beautiful out. It's New England, right? Springtime. And we have an amazing guest for you guys today.
The energy is here. I've known this young man probably 10, 12 years. One of the most remarkable individuals you will absolutely ever be able to meet. I knew him when he was in college, and I didn't realize the magnitude of the things he was doing until he graduated. You're going to learn about his journey today and how he has spent his life putting others before him, which is one of the greatest acts of mankind. Michael Gorman, what's going on, man?
Hey, appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming in. You're doing amazing things. Dennis was telling me you're from Lawrence, Mass.
Mm-hmm.
So not too far away from here, right?
Not at all.
Right. You had a good drive today coming in, you were saying?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all. Work in Lowell, so about a half-hour drive.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So tell me about growing up and first of all, before we start that, how did you and Dennis meet?
Yeah, so actually, it was funny. I was driving here, and I don't think Dennis actually may recall the first encounter I had with him. During orientation week, going into Anna Maria, I didn't know one soul. I was going there to play basketball. I was studying human services at that point. And during that initial orientation week, after we did some team building activities outside, we went into the cafeteria. I remember I grabbed my tray of food and I sat down at the table and didn't know anyone. So I was kind of just sitting by myself off to the side. And Dennis actually pulled up a tray and stood right across, sat right across from me. I'm not sure if you even remember that, but he engaged in conversation, just asked how my day was going. And little things like that is an example of you always remember the little things in life. So I always appreciated him for that. Not sure if you remember it or not, but it meant a lot to me at that time.
That's amazing. No, when you interact with people, especially sometimes when somebody's not with someone, you engage them and you immediately feel like you're part of something. And
Made me feel comfortable.
I'm glad you remembered that. That's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Made me feel comfortable.
That's so Dennis right there.
No, it was.
Yeah.
He sat right in front of me, asked how my day was going, and it's little things like that mattered. At that point, not knowing anyone freshman year of college, it mattered. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that speaks volumes about you, man. And it's very similar to the way we met, maybe 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
So just strike up a conversation with anybody. I've been out with this guy, and he strikes up conversations with everybody on the
People
street.
person.
Yeah,
People
for
person.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a definite strength.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about growing up in Lawrence and how that may have shaped your adulthood.
Yeah, so born in Lawrence, I feel like I was raised more in Methuen. Went to Methuen public
yeah.
schools, went to Methuen high school, but Lawrence is the town right over. I was lucky. I had a loving mom, loving dad. That love was there in the home, there throughout academics, athletics. But I think, sometimes with a community like Lawrence next door, saw a lot growing up too. So I think that's what kind of opened my eyes and had this vision from a young age.
Yeah, so tell us about your vision. Tell us a little bit about, TMF.
Yeah, so it started when I was 18 years old. Just graduated from Methuen High School. It was that summer. I was going to be heading off to Anna Maria in August. And I decided to, it actually started with Coach Sean Conrad, the men's college basketball coach. During that summer, mailed me a workout packet to kind of prepare yourself before you show up to campus and ready to go, ready to run. So he gave me a speed and conditioning and workout packet. I didn't want to do it alone, so I had a couple of my buddies do it with me. So we decided to do this 3-mile run throughout Methuen, just to kind of build determination for me. I was getting ready for college for them. It was more of giving them something to do, accomplish something. And that's how TMF actually started. It started out as a workout group back in 2011. 3-mile run Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Tuesdays and Thursdays we did speed and conditioning, like ladder drills.
Yeah.
It went from 8 people to 20 to I'll bring my friend. I have a buddy that wants to come, to the point that during that summer in 2011, you would see 50 young individuals running through the city of Methuen.
It's a big captain's
Oh
practice.
man, I tell you, and it was interesting because it's funny. Not many people know that's how TMF started. Because today we're known more for the community work, but it started just a group of young individuals that would just run, stick together. Next thing you know, a 3-mile run weekly. We got pretty close with each other.
Yeah.
I was probably one of the only individuals that were going on to college. A lot of those other individuals didn't really know what the next chapter consisted of. Graduated, dropped out. Some of them were going to community college. So what we did is on the weekends, we decided to do activities as a family. I remember the first 3 activities that we did is bowling, mini golf, and we went to the zoo together. And I know
it sounds like a family
fun
right there. Yeah.
We had no money, had no building, so we raised money from a 3-on-3 basketball tournament and a car wash. With the money that we raised, we went to these different places. And a zoo might sound silly to some people, but I'm talking 18-year-olds going to the zoo for the first time and seeing a lion and a giraffe and having a kick out of it.
This sounds like Boy Scouts to me.
Absolutely.
Like, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
It's
was
very similar, right? It's a big gang of kids getting together and having that life, It sounds really
just
cool.
sticking together.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
when we went bowling, I tell the story all the time. I think we rented 5 lanes, and I had the camera ready to go. I said 1, 2, 3, go. I look up, there's not one pin that dropped. It's all gutter balls. But at that time, the kids were having a blast. We got extremely close, and also during that summer, I became very curious about the streets of Lawrence. So besides those runnings and those weekend activities, me and a few of those original TMF members took a notebook, and we decided to go under every single bridge in Lawrence, go down the alleyways, walk the railroad tracks until we reached a bordering town, and we saw a lot with our eyes. We didn't know how to interact with individuals on the street at that point, but wanted to understand it more.
So you're doing some social experiment kind of data collection, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And you didn't even, like, what compelled you to do that?
The curiosity, Broadway in Lawrence is Route 28. And if you were to, say, drive down that street, you see a lot looking outside the window of the car there. And I got curious, why is there a woman standing under a street sign, staring at people driving by? Why is there a person holding a cardboard sign? I wanted to know the why behind that,
is awesome.
It almost gave my mom a heart attack half the time. I was 18.
Yeah, but that's a compelling reason why, right? We talk
Yeah.
about that all the time. That's one of the tenets at the Apex Lifestyles podcast is what we ask people, what's your why? You know?
At that age, there's not many individuals doing that.
Yeah.
They're looking to find like that fun thing to go out to do and thinking about something that's going to make you really happy, but helping others in learning to understand others that are going through challenges was really important to you.
It was really important.
Where does that come from? Where did that curiosity come from? What were you thinking?
Man, my dad's been the director of the North Andover Youth Center for 31, 32 years. And my mom was always that mom in the neighborhood that was always caring for all the youngsters around. And I feel like everyone was over my house for dinner. So I think it was like the mixture of those two amazing individuals, mom and dad, that kind of implemented that love into me. But then it was my own, like, that curiosity, the why. I really wanted to, like, find out. And I did. I'll never forget those original souls that I did meet on those streets. Because at first, we didn't know, like, how do we interact with somebody on the street? What do we say? How do we approach them? And we started with this index card approach. So back with those TMF, we decided to have a weekly meeting where we kind of got together, talked about life and stuff like that to stick together. So we decided to have this approach is let's take all these index cards, blank index cards, and write a positive word, an inspirational saying, believe in yourself, never give up, don't lose hope, you're loved. And we decided to drive down Broadway, get out the car, and give some of these individuals on the street an index card. And we decided to don't say anything, just hand it and walk away. And I remember looking, handing that index card, the confusion, who's this kid here? Why are you giving me this card? But as we would sometimes look in the rear view mirror, curious if they're going to look down and read the card or not, we could sometimes like see the emotion, the looking back up, the looking down at the card. We noticed that those words meant something to those individuals. And that's kind of how it started, just a simple index card approach.
In life, I think connecting is very important. And when you try to discover ways to connect with just people, and sometimes people that may be somewhat unapproachable, or you don't know how to do it, that's fascinating. Yeah. That you trial and error, you tried out the index card, and it seemed like that was your first way to connect.
It was first way to connect, yeah.
When did you see the connections really start to get real?
So, social media can sometimes be a powerful thing. I think people have noticed that as time has gone on. And we used to take a picture of the index card and post it on Facebook and say, time to hit the streets and hand these cards out, where people kind of latched on. Like, hey, I have some Burger King and McDonald's and Wendy's gift cards I could donate to you guys if you want to, get them some food. But for us, it was another way to be creative. We wanted to figure out how could we work our way into someone's heart, make them believe, make them trust us. So we took those Burger King and McDonald's gift cards, went to a gentleman under the bridge or a female on the corner, and we said, hey, do you want to take a walk down to McDonald's, get some food together? Right? For them, it was food. For us, it was opportunity to sit down in the McDonald's booth, talk about life. So I remember, first female I met out there is individual named Chachi. She was a 31-year-old Hispanic female struggling with a crack, cocaine, and heroin addiction. And she got a number 1 in McDonald's, and we sat down, me, a TMF member named Brian, and Chachi. And we took that opportunity to just ask the question, wow, we have a homeless person in front of us. Let's figure out what her story a little bit. And just learning about Chachi, and from Chicago, Illinois, having a 7-year-old son, has been in Lawrence, Mass for several years, struggling with active addiction, current active warrants, currently feeling lost, hopeless, doesn't really have a meaning to live anymore. And for us as young 18-year-old kids, having someone 13 years older than us from the street mention that stuff, it was heavy. I was like, wow.
It's heavy as a 50-something-year-old man sitting here listening to you.
Yeah, and I think what hurt during those initial conversations is I won't forget Chachi at McDonald's that day, is we handed her a piece of paper, and this is us being like naive, curious, heck, just try different things. We handed her a piece of paper, and he wrote, write 3 things that you haven't done in a long time that you'd want to do. And she wrote, get ice cream, go to a movie, and go get some food at a restaurant. 3 things that she hasn't done in a long time due to her homelessness and addiction. So me and Brian over here looking at each other like, hey, do you want to meet up next Wednesday? We can go get some ice cream down there and we can talk. And she said, yeah, sure. We decided to meet up at the location we found her at. We drive there that day. She's nowhere to be found. So now it's like me and Brian like, man, was she just saying that because she was getting like food with us that day? Did she forget? What was it, And that's what hurt me is a lot of people that we initially met kind of disappeared on us. Did they go to jail? Did they pass away? Did they get sober and reunite with family? We didn't know. So that's when we decided after those initial, conversations is to learn the person's full name, just in case, if they disappear on us, we can find them.
Trust.
Yeah.
How does trust work?
And
What do you do?
Yeah, the trust, it took time, but I think that when they saw the consistency of coming back, that's when they knew. It wasn't like a bagged lunch, dropping it off, patting them on the back, saying take care, and they don't see us again. We were continuing to come back, show up. And I think over time with the consistency, a person sees that and it's like, wow, like they care.
You're building relationships with them.
The relationships was the most important for me. I didn't want to be just the drop-off donation. I wanted to like have that connection with the person.
Yeah, it's striking to me that an 18-year-old kid and a group of 18-year-old guys that got together to work out and create this, workout gang, so to speak, right?
Yeah, that's where it started.
Went down and started doing this work. This is heavy for me to kind of wrap my head around, and it's very impressive.
It was tough because when I went to Anna Maria College, I won't ever forget, it was 2 days before I was moving into school. Never been away from home in my life. And the day before I was leaving, I told my mom, I'm like, man, I'm having a hard time like going tomorrow. Like I feel like I'm leaving this group that I created this summer behind, and she's like, she just said, you have to take this step. This is for you. You have to do this. You can come back. You can continue this. TMF can be a summer program. So when I went to Anna Maria and I met Dennis that orientation week, he didn't know that, right? Like I met him that first time. I was having a hard time being away from home. I didn't know anybody. Anna Maria was in Paxton, Massachusetts. An hour.
Might as well have been Mars, right?
Yeah, on top of a hill away from, a little bit away from Worcester, and it was an adjustment piece, and most people don't know, but when I was at Anna Maria, Coach Conrad and Coach Bear learned this later. After class and after practice, I was going to Framingham Women's Prison Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between the hours of 5 to 9 p.m. to visit that woman, Chachi, that I met at McDonald's. Most people didn't know that at the mailbox, we have these P.O. boxes at Anna Maria. I was writing letters, to the individuals that were on the streets from Lawrence while I was in school, So it was hard for me to be at Anna Maria. That place changed my life. I'm forever grateful. But I didn't forget about home when I was there.
Amazing story, man.
Absolutely amazing. You think about people being charitable and giving back to others and the individuals that are really struggling. Thanksgiving, Christmas, driving down the road occasionally and giving something. But you showed the power of connecting with them as individuals and making it a part of your life and what you do. And you built this community that has just grown and grown and grow. That says a lot. And the trust you've built, the community you've built, and it shows that you're taking this serious and teaching others that they mean something. And you must speak about that. Some of the individuals you connect with, do they feel sometimes that I don't matter anymore, and you're helping them feel a sense of belonging again?
Yeah, definitely. I'll never forget those original souls that I met, because I feel like they initially taught me a lot about life. It's like they showed me like the other side of the fence. I told you I grew up in a loving home, so I was fortunate, right? But a lot of those TMF members, TMF stands for the movement family. It's designed for anyone looking for a second family in life. So these are a lot of young individuals looking for acceptance, looking to give back to the community, looking to be part of something maybe for the first time in their life. And, we become close, start off as strangers, look at each other as brother and sisters. And a lot of those initial conversations of people on the street, met them hopeless, see no way out of the darkness, see no light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel like we've given them hope throughout time. I think TMF is most known for right now is our weekly dinner on Wednesday nights. I think that took a big eye opener throughout the state of Massachusetts, and then even the country when the NCAA magazine wrote a story on TMF that went to every single college in the United States. So I think within time, the consistency of the journey has paid off.
So tell us a little bit about, those Wednesday night dinners.
Yeah, so
right? Because
my
this is
favorite of the week.
It's kind of like this culmination of this is what it's kind of come. That's the meat and potatoes of what you're doing now, yeah.
100%. Like I said, I think that's what we're most known for. Back in 2018, we drove through the bus station. It's called the Buckley Garage in Lawrence. That's the Lawrence bus station, and it's kind of like unique. It's basically the buses can enter and exit. So it's like it's always this opening on both sides. So when we drove in on a Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, we noticed a few homeless individuals that were sleeping on the benches. So we went back to our Monday night meeting, and we just kind of got together talking about life. And a few of us suggested, you know how we took that drive in the bus station the other night? Why don't we just set up a table, bring some pizzas, and kind of have a dinner together? And I think half the group thought it was a crazy idea that wouldn't work, and the other half of the group was like, let's give it a shot. So that following Wednesday night, in my old 2001 Nissan Maxima, we had no money still at this point. We decided to grab a few boxes of Little Caesars pizza, $5 pizza, right? Can't go wrong with that. And then we drove into the bus station. We had one circle table and a few chairs. Took the circle table out of the trunk, put it directly dead center of the bus station, put the pizza on top of it, chairs around it, and out loud I said, hey, does anybody want to join us for some family dinner? And they turned their head, and a few of the individuals got up off the bench they were sleeping at and joined us and had some pizza. And we go back to that following Monday, me and holy crap, people joined us, they ate, this was great. And then I remember a couple hands were raised that meeting, my mom can make some rice, we can go back next Wednesday, maybe a few different trays of food. So you're like, heck, let's go back, 2 tables this week, maybe have some more variety of options. And word on the street spreads very fast. So looking at that first month there, it went from 10 to 30 to 50 to 2 months into that Wednesday night dinner, there was 100 people entering the bus station.
You went viral.
Yeah, we really took off, and it was interesting. This was going back to our creativity. I don't want to be a soup kitchen. Soup kitchens are amazing. Gives an opportunity for the person to eat a meal, right? But we were going back to that initial perspective vision we have. How do we work our way into someone's heart, make them believe again? So we're like, let's bring things to the dinner. So we bring live music. So we bring a guitarist, someone playing the harmonica, dinner and music. We decide to bring a donations table. But instead of the homeless individual digging through garbage bags, let's set up racks, hangers, and have them go through the clothes like they're a normal person. So that was number 2. Number 3, Nevin's Memorial Library in Methuen decided to donate books. So now we have a books table. You can take a book to go. We brought in a guest speaker, somebody sharing their story of how, hey, I was in active addiction, felt no hope anymore. I'm here. I'm living proof that, if I can do it, you can do it. And that's when we decided to, let's bring a barbershop. Let's cut hair at the bus station. That's
a big deal.
Yeah, they love the haircuts, man. Yeah. Haircuts are the big one. Manicures. We have a sign-in table to keep track of who's coming to the bus station. And my favorite, we have a mailroom table. So we provide the public only the first names of people that attend the dinners. no last name, no face. But it gives the public an opportunity to write a letter of hope to a person who's currently living on the streets of Lawrence, Mass. So different schools throughout the United States and different teams have made it a team project to write letters to those names that attend the TMF dinners on a Wednesday night. And I tell you, man, they go up to that mailroom table to receive the mail that night, and sometimes you see the tears flowing. Like, wow, somebody wrote a letter with my name on it and told me not to lose hope.
Everything you're saying is just unbelievable. Have you had anybody that was part of this program on the other side that has turned around and is helping you facilitate?
My favorite story, Carlos Mora. Met him, young 20s, sleeping on the bench by himself, addicted to fentanyl and crack cocaine. He would come eat every Wednesday night, and then after he, went on his recovery journey of detox, a residential program, a sober house, came back, shared his story of how much those TMF dinners meant to him, how much he felt like he could go to a safe place, feel accepted, and just be himself. And man, next Tuesday we're going to speak at a place, and I love when I have him with me and he's just sharing those dark days,
It's amazing.
Yeah, and how he's doing today. And I always get the chills every time I hear him speak.
What you talk about hunger, you talk about drugs, you talk about just you think about the safety on the streets and the rigors and the challenges, the weather. You're providing a safe environment once a week for individuals to come together.
Yeah.
And it's gone viral because you've been that vehicle of change and you keep this going with consistency. You could have done it once, but you just keep going and going and going. Have you ever had an obstacle that has helped you kind of, because we talk a lot about hitting your apex, and I'm telling you, you are living proof of not only living your apex, but trying to help others, which I think is such a powerful thing in life. We've talked about going to your apex and the challenges that happen. Is there a challenge that happened along the way that helped you kind of figure things out to make
Huge challenge. 2018, 4 months into the Wednesday night dinner, I get a phone call from the Lawrence Police Department. And he mentions...
I kind of knew this was coming.
Yeah, he says, Michael, fortunate news, but you can no longer host the TMF dinners at the bus station any longer, effective immediately. And
did they give you a reason why?
Yeah, so there was 2 reasons why. There was trash at the bus station, and they found a syringe at the bus station. My argument was, I'm only at the bus station 1 night a week for 3 hours, 8 to 11 p.m. I can't control the other 6 days of activity of people using public transportation or individuals from the street that walk through there. But that was what knocked us out. And so, man, relaying that message to young TMF members that live in the inner city of Lawrence, they were confused, didn't understand, felt like they were doing something good in their life and be ripped away from them. That was difficult. It wasn't until a gentleman named of Tom Duggan, who's the owner of the Valley Patriot newspaper, that said, you got 2 decisions here. You can walk away or you can fight with your heart. And of course, I wanted to fight with my heart, but I didn't know what that looked like. We just got told to shut down by Lawrence police here, so I don't know what options I have. He said, go into Lawrence City Hall. When you go to the Lawrence City Council meeting, you have an opportunity for public participation. Now, you're talking to a kid who has nothing to know about government, never been to a city council meeting. I don't even know what public participation means. He said, listen, you go in there with your family, and you have 3 minutes, each person, to express yourself on the microphone before the meeting starts. So I'm like, all right. He's like, bring everybody. So we bring 100 TMF members to city council. I think we packed that place like they've never seen it before. Then you have about 50 to 60 of them sign up to speak. So I think the city council is like, holy crap, we're going to be here all night long. But those TMF members, for those 3 minutes each, and it's on YouTube, and I get goosebumps sometimes going back. They laid their hearts out on the microphone of I had this young girl, Madison Rodriguez, and she got on the microphone and she expressed how much these dinners meant to her. I had another individual that shared, I find more love at the TMF dinners than I do at my home when I return after school. So I think those city councilors heard that, and it was pretty inspiring that when they went around the room, I think there was 8 city councilors, we won the vote. So now we're all fist in the air, we pulled it off. Little did I know that a mayor has an opportunity to basically repo a vote. So it goes on for a second vote. So he went back in 2 weeks for a second vote. We had to win, I think, 3/4 of the voting. We lost by 1. One of the female city councilors changed her vote the second time. Final word, no dinner at the bus station. Then came the opportunity, what are you going to do now? So we decided to move locations at a vacant lot that was privately owned by somebody and hold the TMF dinners there. No roof over our head. The one rule is, though, the TMF dinners can never cancel. So we're setting up these overhead tents when it's snowing, it's raining. It wasn't until 2022 that the newly elected mayor, Brian DePena, who was a city councilor at that point that voted yes in favor for the dinners, said, you should have never lost that bus station. I want you to go back and have your dinners there. So now we're back at the bus station 3 years later, and we're having our dinners back on a Wednesday night. But I think that was an example of an obstacle that I was faced with being a leader at that point with a huge family of TMF members, where I had 2 decisions. It was either, walk away from something that was so great that I'll miss forever, or you fight for what you believe in. And sometimes the power of people wins. So,
you just said it. You said as a leader, and from first few moments of this recording of this podcast, I was struck by the fact that you have determined eyes and you are by far absolutely a leader. And for me, it's striking that came out in you so young. Can you speak to why you think that is? Like, what drove you at that? I mean, you said curiosity, but it's beyond that. You're a leader. Like, that's what leaders do. They go first. And you certainly did that. What drives that?
Man, it's a question that I get a lot, like the why. Like sometimes some people will wonder, did you go through something as a young kid that, kind of made you want to help the next suffering person, or curious of somebody's mindset? But I don't know. I think it was like going back to my dad being a director of a youth center, where I saw him deal with all different type of individuals all the time. And I saw the way he interacted. I saw my mom, the way they interacted. And I feel like I just meshed those two together. And I think about those school days, as a young kid. And I was going home to do homework and get ready and go to sleep early to wake up for the next day. Giving my friends a high five while they have no dad at home. Mom's working 2 jobs to make ends meet. And they're just kind of hanging at the park until sun goes down. Put myself to sleep, wake up in the morning myself, walk to school. And it's like, man, like I'm having my mom, my dad, Michael, get up for school. But I got friends over here that are waking themselves up. And I feel like that, like it hit me somewhere in my heart where it's like, oh man, like that kind of hurts me. Like, what if they had like what I had? Like, would things be different for them? Like, would it? And I would like ask myself that. I'm like, man, I tell you, if he had what I had, like there's no difference between me and him. But it's like an unfortunate cards that were dealt at a young age. And so like, I think I had this mentality, even like, I give the example of when I first met you, come over with your food, asking how my day's going. Like, I remember at lunch in high school, individuals sitting by themselves, no friends, hurt me. I didn't like to see that. I didn't even like to see someone pick last for a sports team. When it would pick and pick up. Like, I got you, and you got the kid looking back. It's like, damn, nobody wants me. Like, I saw all these different, like, examples, and I just wanted to make somebody feel comfortable, make someone feel loved, make someone feel like, hey, I want you around, And I think everyone just wants to feel, like, accepted in life, like, I belong. And I think that's why people join TMF. It's like they know that, like, wow, I can go to this place and not feel judged. We have a transgender. I think she's felt more love than she's had ever in her life. Love's coming on Wednesdays. Guarantee you, probably throughout her school days, though, probably heard many comments. Her appearance, ways he sounded, So I think that's kind of been my mentality.
It's unreal.
I have no words, really. I mean, you're a powerful young man. Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
How do you measure victories?
Yeah, I always have the grateful heart. Like, I'm just super, like, gratitude 24/7. Like, wake up. You mentioned obstacles, which I love that question, because the obstacles never stop. It's continued speed bumps. It's not like you reach this destination where it's like, I made it, like, no more problems, right? It's like throughout this journey of life, there's going to be continued battles, continued pain. But I think if you can wake up each morning and find like one thing that you're grateful for, it can change your perspective. Because the negative thinking or it's the positive thinking. Even though we go through battles, man, if you can just, my mom had this, I tell everyone all the time, my mom had this quote on this fridge throughout all my years. People might forget what you said and forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. She was a big believer, no matter what you're going through in life, don't take it out on other people. Be kind. If you can be kind in life, life will pay you back.
And you have time for fun, I see.
Yeah, I do.
You played college ball.
Yeah, I did.
Played some college ball, and I see you like to follow basketball a little bit. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so basketball, a huge part of my life. My dad was my basketball coach throughout all my years. Got to high school, played for Richard Barden, who was a college basketball player at Merrimack. I think he prepared me for the college game. He was like a second father figure to me, tough on me. I think he wondered if I was going to quit sometimes. That's how hard he was on me. And then I got to Anna Maria College, a Division III basketball program where Coach Conrad, Coach Bayer, and Coach P really gave me an opportunity to be the starting point guard for 4 years at Anna Maria. And, man, it wasn't just the basketball, though. Those guys cared. Like, they really cared about me. Like, Coach P, like, do you want to come over for family dinner at my house? Coach Conrad, just like his life talks. Coach Bayer, still keeping in touch with me today. But man, those are some fun days with basketball. My sophomore year, we had 15 straight wins. Went to the conference championship with an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament, which is the dream, right? You want to get to the big dance, and we lost to Albertus Magnus championship. My sophomore year, heartbreaker. But I miss those days because basketball, I think sports, the way it brings people together and the life lessons it shows you is pretty incredible.
And unfortunately, it all ends for us. After college, but your best friend is, I think he had a game last night.
He did. It was a tough loss, but he did.
Who is it?
Yeah, so George is Niang, my best friend. We call each other brothers just because he moved into my house in the fourth grade and went through everything together. Everything together. Like, literally, there isn't... we bring back memories all the time, and people just think our stories are hilarious, but we've gone through it together. He plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. I went to Methuen High School. He went to Tilton, prep school, boarding school for 4 years. He then got a full scholarship to Iowa State, scored over 2,000 points at Iowa State. In 2015, drafted by the Indiana Pacers, played 1 year there, went on to Santa Cruz to play for the Santa Cruz Warriors out in California, which is the Golden State Warriors D-League team. And then from there, Utah Jazz signed him for 2 years, then played a couple years in Philadelphia, and now he has a 3-year contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers, which are currently in the playoffs. Playing against the Orlando Magic. We won't talk about last night, but it's a 2-1 series lead with the game on Saturday back in Orlando.
So your favorite team keeps changing.
Yeah, people give me a hard time to weren't you just a Sixers fan last year? But no, it's wherever George goes, it's been such an incredible journey to see that life. I went out to Indiana. I stayed out in Santa Cruz for a while. Stayed in Philadelphia multiple times. Went out to Utah. So I've been to all across the country. With George, and just to have those guys, all the NBA players, just treat me like, man, oh, it's your best friend. Come over here, Michael, and they treat me like family. So I've been able to build a lot of relationships with those guys. And what's special is, a lot of those guys have been traded to different NBA teams. And like Matt Thomas, who was playing for the Chicago Bulls, like, hey Michael, I'm playing in Boston next week. You want a ticket? Head over to Boston. Or Naz Long, who was playing for the Pacers, wasn't playing with Georgia anymore. Like, hey, I'm playing in Boston. You want a ticket? Come watch me play. So like all those guys have looked out for me. If they play in Boston, they'll reach out to me with a couple tickets, letting me know that, hey man, I care about you. Your family, since Georgia's family. So
cool.
They're looking out for you the way you look out after others.
Yeah, I think so.
That is so amazing.
They've been so kind.
Listen, you sit back and you watch the life that they're living and what they're doing. We sit back here in awe, watching what you're doing in the life you're living, in the lives that you're changing on a consistent basis. You're doing an amazing job.
Oh, I appreciate it. But it's an honor to be here, to be here with you guys. And what you're doing with this podcast is incredible. And, the following that you have, the people that you have on this podcast. So for me to be sitting in the seat, man, I'm grateful. So thank you for the opportunity.
We're grateful that you came. What you're doing is amazing. And, talking about basketball, right, we're going to segue into something that's on the table. Maybe, Dennis, you can take this, You want to take the honors of the what we see on the table?
So, lifelong Celtic fan. They hand out awards at the games. Mm-hmm. We have a hero among us today. You want to talk about that and show your award?
Yeah, definitely. So we got an award right here. It was blessed. Probably one of the most, here we go, right here. This is probably one of the most special awards that I have that I've received. I got a special phone call during the winter of 2021. Stating, hey, Michael, this is Boston Celtics here. We would like to present you the Hero Among Us Award. And, man, receiving that phone call, I was psyched. I remember calling my mom after, like, Mom, you won't believe the Celtics gave me a phone call. They want to present me with the Hero Among Us Award. And on top of that, they want me to go to center court to receive it. And on top of that, it's against Georgia and the 76ers. So it was like, wow. And on top of that, they wanted George to present the award to me at center court, which, it's like a flashback of everything. Me and George in the backyard shooting hoops until it's dark and Mom's saying, hey, guys, come in for dinner. And now he's going to present me a Hero Among Us award at center court.
They did their homework,
the Celtics, didn't they? They did.
Yeah.
And George said it perfectly. He's like, we both made it to the Garden, man. We both made it to the Garden. In different paths, we both made it to the Garden. And I was like, wow, like, and then I think it's funny, but it was tough. It was tough to hear. He unfortunately got COVID that week, so George could not even travel with the team to come play against the Celtics.
And that was kind of at the height of it all, right?
That was.
Yeah.
That was when things were, it's like the unknown.
A little scary.
Scary at that point, And so walked out to center court, did a little 360, but looking at all those fans, my favorite was looking up. We had a suite for the TMF members. So
so cool.
So I was able to point to them and watch them like jump up and down
They must
and
have loved
cheering.
every minute of that.
Yeah, that was like wow, because man, I don't know. It's just like we talk about journeys, right? Whether it's the journey of the podcast or the journey of life, or just hearing about your personal journey earlier, which I thought was so inspirational. I've been watching you on social media, so inspirational throughout the years. And then I think about I'm at center court, and it's just like most people like move so fast. Me, I'm looking at the crowd. I'm taking this all in. I'm looking at the suite of the TMF members, and I'm like, wow, like we started from really like nothing. Yeah. No building, no money, nobody telling us how to do it. And now we're here. You
built it, man. That's amazing. You're an inspiration.
Appreciate that.
A couple times during I'm like holding back, choking up, just listening to you. It's amazing.
Thank you.
You go with your heart.
Yeah.
And you do not let, and we talk about perseverance, being persistent, confident in yourself, but you use your heart to connect with others and to help others feel a sense of belonging. I don't think there's a greater gift you can give someone.
Yeah, I think the heart brings love brings endless possibilities in my mind. My dad, every single morning, I tell everyone wherever I speak, the colleges and stuff, He sent me this text, high school, but every single year at Anna Maria, every single morning, he would text me 86400. First time he ever sent the text message, I had no idea what he was talking about. He said, "You have 86,400 seconds in the day, Michael. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to make a difference in your own life? How can you make a difference in someone else's?" And he would text me that every single morning at Anna Maria, 86400. After that, he would say, "What are you going to do with it?" ? My dad thinks time is the most valuable thing. He believes it's so short.
He's right.
My dad has diabetes, and he tells me I want to live, and I watch him work out, eat healthy, but he's also very big on like live each day like it's your last, and he means those words, not cliche. You know how people say cliche lines? He's like, "Michael, live today. What are you gonna do with your time today?" Because he's like, I don't know how long I'll be here, so I'm trying to make it the best I can. Love people and appreciate people.
Powerful, man.
Absolutely.
So, Michael, how can people connect with TMF, and how can they help you move forward with your mission?
So we do have, we have social media. We have a website. If anyone wants to look us up, themovementfamily.org. You can read about our history. You can figure out how you want to give back, whether it's volunteer time, donate items, clothes, monetary donations. We're on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And if you ever want to take a drive, where our dinners are at 295 Common Street at the bus station in Lawrence. We hold our weekly meetings in North Andover, and we have plenty of activities on the weekends. So just reach out, and we'd love to have anybody that wants to join.
Well, you're going to have Dennis and I at one of these upcoming
No doubt.
Wednesdays.
I would love that, man. That would be awesome to have you guys there.
I'd love to bring some of my team members here to help. I don't know how much you need help during the week, how many volunteers you can have.
Man, the place, when I mean 100 to 150 people come to that bus station, that there's always some area at the bus station to give a lending hand.
Nice. And, between Dennis and I, we know quite a few musicians, so if you ever need some...
Oh, do you? Yeah. I know, that is true.
We can get yourself in touch with some pretty big names, too. Yeah. So maybe we can arrange something like that in the future.
Man, let me know, because those TMF members, I tell you, they hear like a Joyner Lucas. You probably have all those TMF members jumping up and down saying, "Hey, what the heck, Joyner Lucas in the road?" So if you guys come across anyone, coming up, let me know. Members would love to experience it.
No doubt. Well deserved.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Michael, thank you so much. It was a distinct pleasure. You are a remarkable young man, and I'm honored to have you here.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, it's nice. It was a pleasure meeting the 18-year-old Michael, and it's even that much more of a pleasure watching you grow. You were a man of 18. You're already fully grown, but watching you mature and starting from such a small entity and to make this blossom into something so beautiful is just so special, and there's no give up, and you just send such a powerful message. Keep up the great work, and I'm super, super proud of you.
Oh, I appreciate it. We talk about the journey of life. So for me to graduate from Anna Maria in 2015, keep in touch with you from a distance. 9 years later, be at a table with you, talking about this. That's another example of just gratitude, man. I'm very appreciative for you thinking of me.
Of course. Well earned.
Thank you, my man.
Well, Dennis, another one in the tank, man. And this is, in my opinion, been like the most engaging one for me so far.
Oh, 100%. Just, the power of the human spirit.
Undeniable.
Unbelievable. Bob, I just got to tell you, this is definitely go time.
It is go time. All righty. We'll see y'all soon.